Yeah. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Hey, hi, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. That's Ayush, is it?
Yes, sir. We'll start in just a minute, sir. Please.
No, no problem. We can wait for a little more time. I just logged in to make sure that I'm in. I can access, so I'm good. I'll go off camera now because obviously you can hear me as well. So I can
Yes.
go off camera and put my phone on mute. But I'll be around whenever you want me to start. We can start. Okay?
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, sir. We can start now.
All right. Okay. All right. So
I'll start. I'll
yeah,
start,
Ayush.
sir.
So one more. I have a small presentation. I hope I can share that. Right.
Yes, sir. You can. So we'll start in like this, and you can share or it on the screen.
Okay. Okay. Super. Yeah. I'm all set.
In the words of Jimmy Romty, some people call this artificial intelligence, but the reality is this technology will enhance us. So instead of artificial intelligence, I think we'll augment our intelligence. Good afternoon, everyone present over. Ayush Dubey, on behalf of Dot Club, takes immense pleasure to welcome you all to the most interacting and engaging session on the topic personalizing organizational experience using artificial intelligence by Dot Club, the official techno managerial club of IBS Hyderabad. Dot Club aims to foster learning and awareness of technology and its application in today's world to enable students to aid in all aspects of technology in the future. During this pandemic, the world has witnessed that how technology is helping us to connect and grow in its purest form. But today, I would like to you to introduce who knew the importance of artificial intelligence and technology and how much power it beholds from the very beginning. It's none other than our esteemed guest, Mr. Debashish Ghosh, sir. Mr. Ghosh worked in Berkadia, India. Berkadia is a joint venture of Berkish Hathaway and Jeffries Financial Group. It's an industry-leading commercial real estate company and also provide financial solutions. Berkadia also provides interim and short-term financing through its property-based lending program. Today, Sir will be giving us visible insights on personalizing organizational experience using artificial intelligence. Before we begin, I would like you to give you some instructions. I request everyone to kindly maintain the decorum of the meet. I request everyone to kindly switch on your cameras and mute your microphones. You are free to ask your queries, which will be taken by us at the end of session. You can type the same in the chat box. I would also like to introduce to our coverage partner, Newswire, and our official promotional partner, IBS Messenger. So without any further ado, we would invite our guest on this digital platform. So over to you.
Ayush, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the introduction. I thank you and the entire DOT team. I see some of you are calling yourself DOTIN. So that's how I think you prefix your names. It is very nice.
It's
Very
a
nice.
club name, sir.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And thank you. It is my first interaction, on a personal level with IBS Hyderabad. Of course, a few last month I had interaction with the batch when I was hiring through campus. Me and a couple of my colleagues came and spoke to this team. Some of you might have been part of it, but those were mostly the second year finance students that I spoke to. To absolutely happy to be here. Listen, I mean, thank you all for joining. Okay, I know it's Saturday evening. All of you had like a tough week. It's lovely weather outside. Actually, Hyderabad is like in 15 and 16. It's lovely. So all of us want to start with our weekends, and I'm standing between you and the weekend. So you know, sorry about that, but the good news is that I won't be taking 2 hours. Okay, that's a good news. Although it is blocked for 2 hours, but I think 1 hour, 1 and 15 minutes is what we should go for. And as Ayush said, I also love to keep it interactive and engaging. So in between, we can have some Q&As dedicated times, especially at the end of the webinar for 15-20 minutes, as you will, depending on the questions. But I would probably encourage you to just unmute your mic and then put your comments in the chat box as we progress, because I will be asking some questions and will expecting some responses from you as well. So let's go with that. And Ayush, I think I can also present my screen, right? My
Yes,
presentation.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can.
All right. Give me one moment, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I do it right. Are you? I'm Ayush. I'm checking with. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir,
I'm
it's
put.
visible.
I'm putting on the presentation mode now.
Yeah, so it's visible.
All right, I have a green signal from Ayush, so I'll start. Uh, well, personalizing organizational experience to artificial intelligence, and we'll start with that. And lovely to speak to all of you. Uh, Ayush gave a beautiful introduction of myself, so I would not spend much time about it. But what is really interesting in this whole page is, and I'm also a EQ certified person. I'm an HR person. I've been doing HR for about 18 years. I'm certified in emotional intelligence. I'm an EQ coach. But here I am talking about AI. Isn't it interesting? 5 years, 10 years back, you would have hardly would be talking about AI. I think that's the beauty of how we run organizations these days, and that is not a hardship at all. That is not something that is a disadvantage. I think that's an advantage, and that is why I think, in a way, I love the name of your group, group, right, Ayush? That's what I was speaking to Aishwarya, and she was telling me it's very interesting. It's like my an EI person doing an AI, or are we people leaders, or are we both? Do you want to code or do you want to lead? Right? Do you really believe in AI or do you believe in EI? These are the questions that sometimes we battle with. And frankly, there is no either or, to be honest, right? This is actually it's this and that, right? And I wish you augmented intelligence, something that helps us to do better decisions, do our job better. Right? It's been around for a while, but thankfully the focus is a lot more today. With the content of my presentation, I hope you guys like the content. I have, you know, true to the spirit of this topic, I have tried to make the guys like it. But there is anything that you wanted to know more about, you can ask during a Q&A that we do, right? So, all right, some English question. It is not about maths. It is not about management. It is about 10th standard English question. Okay, let's make our English teacher proud. What is the opposite of personalization? Anyone? You can unmute and put on the chat. I don't think I can see the chat though. Might be I'm not really sure how to use that, but might be Ayush, you have to help me in if somebody is putting a chat.
Yeah, yes, sir. Sure, I am there for that. Yes, sir.
This is not a tricky question, guys. What is the opposite of personalization? And guys, I know it takes time to warm up, and webinars are generally one of the, and trust me, guys. After this whole COVID thing started, I have attended so many webinars, right? And some of them are really boring. That, what, I also feel I'll get away from it. So I know it takes time to loosen up and do that, but we will loosen up. Don't worry. Um, Anybody, what is the opposite of being personal?
So can we say generalization?
Yes, yes, yeah. I'm sorry, but I cannot see all your names and everything. Generalization is the exact opposite of personalization, right? So AI, and in this today's world, is not to generalize but to personalize. Generic means it is not customized. Generic means it is not bespoke. Generic means it is one size fits all, right? If you see the world around us, the world is actually trying to make it as personalized as possible. If you open up Netflix, if you open up Google, Facebook, the content is like, it almost anticipates what's the content we would like and kind of personalize it to my personalize. When I was building the content, or when I was thinking about what to speak on this webinar, I had this group in my mind, okay, and very personalized group, because I think here we have students brought from the first now. All of you, you'll either be in a job working somewhere, or you'll be preparing for a job, right? First year, second year students now will be working somewhere else, and second year students now will be applying for some campus interviews, right? So we are not going to the real world. And the real world for us, the business world that you operate in, right, or will be operating in a few months and years from now. We will be talking about some real again to AI and whatnot, because of course those information is easily available on the internet. I will I will share some specific examples of really in terms of organizations what needs to be done, right? Um, and what how I have implemented or tried to implement AI while personalizing certain things in organizations, right? I will also I will also share with you some in a way framework, right? Because you guys will be working in organizations after some time, and you'll be solving business problems. You need a bit of a framework to solve those problems and not be very generic. And how can you really apply those framework while solving those problems? I'll share a real example where I have used personalization through artificial intelligence. I'll also share my failures and mistakes, of course, because when you do things like that, I don't think, at least I have not been always successful. I have learned from my failures, and therefore I'll share those failures with you so that maybe you don't make it. All right. Think question from all of for all of you. Think from the perspective of employees, right? So you can relate it a lot more. What are some of the systems and processes in organizations which impact their experiences? Because we're talking about experiences today. Think about an organization, think about yourself as an employee. What are some of the systems and processes? Give an example. Recruitment, right? As an employee, I experience recruitment. Do you experience? If somebody is putting on chat, please somebody has to call it out. If somebody wants to
Hello.
unmute, please unmute. Yep, please go ahead.
Sir, work culture.
Work culture is definitely we experience, and there are a lot of things we do to build a positive. What else?
Developing hello, sir, this is Aishwarya.
Yep.
Sir, developing strategies on retaining the employees, like developing the policies for motivating the employees. It can also be like compensation and benefit management or
All of it, Aishwarya. Learning and develop initiatives, people experience how we learn and how we teach. We experience the rewards and recognition. We experience compensation and benefits. You mentioned that as well, right? Performance management. I think it's a great example also as well, because all of these things um, can give an experience to the employee. Experience, it's a good experience. What else? Performance management, benefits, recruitment. I already mentioned. What else, guys?
sir,
What
human
happens?
resource
Group
planning.
activity.
Yeah.
Don't really see the planning, but what do you really see? Somebody said something. Sorry. It is yes. Any kind of employee forum, right? I mean, employee communication and so on and so forth is yes. What you experience, right? If you see the entire, and I'm showing some examples of people that they experience, while they join, while they work with the companies, right? It really starts from the recruitment until is separate for the employee. And by the way, whatever is mentioned here is not the laundry list. Okay, there could be many more. It is just examples. So the moment you actually experience recruitment, by the way, recruitment happens even before you experience, before you become the employee of the organization. For example, last month or early this month, when I came and spoke to some of your classmates, uh, and 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 as on behalf of Berkadia, right, for campus hiring, you were not an employee, but we were recruiting. But you got an experience out of that, right? And that could be positive or negative. Career path could be a great experience. Performance management, somebody, I think Ashwarya, you said that. Rewards and recognition. The various policies that we have, the various employee connect forums, or the way we connect with the employees, the employee connects with us. So each and every of these things that we do in organizations, from the time the person onboards till offboarding happens, is an experience. And some of these, like website, is an experience, even though he or she is not talking to a person, right? So the question really now is, right?
Sir, can I?
Oh, sure, sure.
Sir, any cross-cultural communication in a good big company MNCs?
Yes. And one request is a great point. Who was that? Can I know the name?
Sir, Shubhrodipto, sir.
Yeah, Shubhrajit. Okay, whoever, if you can making a comment, if you can say them, it'd be good because I can't, I can't see you guys, can't see the names.
Yeah, yeah.
Great point, Shubhrajit. I think culture is the foundation of everything, right? I mean, we cannot, we cannot talk about culture and not talk about experience. What really happens is that culture is a combination of output of different things we do. Culture is not something we can do in itself. We cannot come to office and say that let's do good culture. What we can come into office is we can do good recruitment, we can do good onboarding, we can build good career paths, we can go do performance management. When these things become good, when these things become good experiences, we say that it has become a good culture. So culture is the foundation of everything, right? And everything that we do positively, which bring positive experiences to our employees, is actually a good culture. Okay, does that make sense, Shubhrajit? Okay, I think.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. Okay, all right. So now that we know that all of these can, can trigger an experience in an employee, right? A good experience or a bad experience. Let's keep it binary, good or bad, right? Now, think of any organizations, right? Might be you have worked for or you have known which of these processes and systems are totally personalized. By personalized, I mean that it is not the same for everybody. So everybody goes through a unique experience the moment somebody interacts with that organization. So if I interact with Berkadia, I experience totally different. If Shubhrajit interacts with Berkadia, his will be totally different, right? So which of these process and systems are totally personalized
Sir,
in any
can I?
company? Yeah.
Yes, Satyesh.
Anybody.
Sir,
Sir,
in
Yeah. Hey guys, it is okay to speak over one another. Okay, let's be a little bit chaotic. That's okay. But go on. Whoever has started.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, personalized can be a career path, can be personalized, then employee benefits, rewards and recognition.
Yes, totally. All of these can be personalized. But the question is, are they really personalized today? For example, rewards and recognition, right? There is a system in place. There are five different categories, and you can get rewards in each of these five different categories. Personalization, right? Can we make the performance management rewards and unique to that employee? Personalization means that is unique to each and every employee, or at least the section of employees. I don't think you
so,
can make like for everybody, but at least section of the employees.
so we can make communication, employee engagement very personalized. It is human connect.
True.
Like, yeah, yeah,
And
like,
can you give an example of that, guys? Anybody? uh, how can you make communication personalized?
I'll just quote with an example of my college. When I looked into my college, which I am in right now, IBS, I looked into it and I just signed up for it. I was personally contacted by a contact person to understand my whereabouts and where I stand, and is MBA really right for me? After getting all the communication, I was proceeded to the next step there. So further processes happened likewise. So it was very personalized to my particular profile.
That's a great example. That's a great example. And that's a mistake we do. See, today, for example, even today, guys, you to understand that the best, or not the best, rather, the most common mode of communication in companies is emails. Okay, tell me one thing, guys. Who in the room in this class uses emails now? Nobody, unless there is a bank trigger coming, right? who would actually open Gmail, right? Unless there is some official thing happening, right? Okay, there's you have to send any formal email to somebody, that be once in a blue moon. But who would open Gmail, write the address? I won't even remember my friend's Gmail ID, and then put CC BCC to dear dear sir. This is, I mean, nobody, think of today's life. Nobody uses emails. Emails is a thing of, emails have become dinosaur in the real world. In organizations, why it's become dinosaur? Because email is usually totally generic. You are part of a big distribution list, right? And the same thing happens in organizations as well, right? And it's a sent to all the employees, and it could mean something to employees. It might not mean anything to some of the employees. Therefore, emails don't get read, by the way. And we complain that nobody's reading the emails. That is not a fair complaint, I think. But that's a great example of personalizing communication. But I think Aishwarya, you are also making a point.
I was actually saying the exact point. Like, for example, if we are running a huge organization and if we customize, like, have a very personalized one-to-one communication with employees, like automated pop-up messages. Like, for example, if someone from, if any employee from any organization having some grievances, and if he or she wants to reach out to HR people or to share the problem, so he or she can share the grievance message to the grievance email ID, and suddenly a pop-up message comes like, okay, we will address your issues and we'll get back to you. So in that way, the personalizing, like the employees feel very much emotionally attached to the organization, that yes, his problem or her problem is being addressed by the organization. So I guess effective communication can be very much a good asset for running an organization, I think.
No, you are totally right. And each one of these, right? Each one of these. What about learning and development? Anybody has any
Exactly.
thought how we can make L&D very personalized? Because today in organizations you have like one program running, and then we try to push people to that program, or you have might be LinkedIn learning and people can go and look for the jobs. How can you make look for the trainings? How can you make L&D personalized? Anybody has any thought on that?
So can I?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, somebody who has not spoken will probably I will vote for that person. Anybody who has not spoken yet?
So can I, sir? I'm not.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This comes where this learning and development can be personalized by understanding what is the career path of that particular person is. So understanding that, you can give him the courses to do which he needs in the future. That
Okay.
can be personalized in this way, and giving him the correct platform to work on.
Totally right. Totally right. And can't agree more. Right. We have to personalize because everybody's learning needs are different. The way they learn also is different. By the way, right? I can learn by webinar like this. I can discuss and share thoughts. Some of us in the classroom would actually learn a lot by reading. Some of us would actually learn only by listening or watching a video. They love those visual aids, right? So it is not only about giving the specific courses, but it's also about how the person learns. That becomes very, very important. Because suppose all of you might need a course on, say, AI. I'm just giving a broad example. If you if if I really want to personalize it, I will not only share the content on AI, but the mode also has to be personalized, right? So that also becomes very, very important. So I think what we have really established in the last few minutes is that, you know two things. One, uh, most or all of the systems in our organizations right now are not personalized, or might be at best partly personalized, but all of these have got an opportunity, have the potential to be personalized, right? So how do we really go about it? Now we are getting into the real life problem. Okay, because knowing this is not enough, in a few months from now you guys will be working in organizations. Okay, nobody will ask us about the importance of AI. Everybody knows about AI. Everybody knows that you have to personalize, right? But your CEO will give you some problems to solve. Okay, let's look at this problem. So, and I hope everybody can see my screen. I'm already sharing it. You have got a job in a company. Suppose Berkadia. Berkadia's CEO is worried about the declining trend of employee engagement in the organization. So you join Berkadia. Unfortunately, Berkadia's employee engagement is downhill. In the last annual survey, the ESAT score was at 62%, down from 75% last year. And some of the indicators of lack of engagement are absenteeism, unplanned leaves, attrition, and so on and so forth. Remote working, by the way, guys, as you all know, have made it matters worse, because driving employee engagement in a remote world or a virtual world is even more difficult. Now, what the CEO has told you is that he wants to you to improve employee engagement in the next 6 months, and he has told you that you are totally empowered to take your own decisions. You don't have to ask anybody. Do whatever you like. Budget is not a constraint. My question to all of you is this: how will you approach this goal? And before that, how do you see this goal? Is this goal, is there a problem with this goal? Let me ask you differently. So this is what a case study, a simple case study. But is there a problem with this goal? Is it achievable, not achievable? Let's understand that first. Is it a good goal to have? The goal that you have got from your CEO. What questions do you have on this goal?
So since
Sir,
there is no budget constraint or there is no hierarchical pressure, I think this is achievable.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see the name, but somebody says there's no budget constraint. There's no. Guys, 1 minute. I'm just getting a call. Somebody's calling me time and again. I'll just take that. Just a moment. Sorry, guys. Perils of work from home. I have to take. All right. So somebody, sorry. Before interruption, somebody said that there is no constraint because there is no. Okay, this goal is achievable because there is no budget constraint and there is no hierarchical constraint. Anybody thinks differently?
Yeah. It's
sir,
it's a realistic goal actually, and also employee satisfaction and engagement is of paramount importance for any organization.
Okay.
Given that there is no budget constraint, and also I have the power of taking my own decisions. Yeah, it's a very approachable one, and it is most needed for the organization as well.
Okay. Okay. Right now, I see a big yes about it's a great. I mean, there's no problem with the goal. It is achievable. Anybody else thinks otherwise or echo the same thoughts?
So Satyajit here.
Yes,
So
Satyajit.
if you are looking at the reasons, there are absenteeism, unplanned leaves, and attrition.
Hmm.
So basically, there is a lack of engagement, which the thing is that I believe it will be achievable if you are having a strong connection with the employees, and we are constantly strive to give them the proper training to enhance their job by giving proper recognition along with a good pay. So not only pay is the deciding factor. Apart from that, also a work environment and your relation with colleagues and a good recognition at a right time is what matters a lot in an organization.
Oh, truly agree. Truly agree. Because I'm sure there are a lot of reasons why employee engagement can go down, and some of the reasons we have seen in the previous slides, right? The touch point experience that people have or do not have actually can impact the engagement. And some of the reasons Satyajit you gave was very real, right? But frankly, you would not know at the beginning of the taking up that challenge what indicators about engagement and absenteeism. At you know, you might be, yes, there are such assumptions you might make, right? Because of lack of career path or lack of benefits and so on and so forth. But I think everybody agrees at this point of time. This is a good goal. There is no problem with the goal, and most of us will be able to achieve that. All right. Um, you know, and I'm not saying that it is not. I think what all of you have said is right. But the most important thing, or the most important lesson, if you will, that I want to leave you today more than AI is that when you are working in an organization, you will have to solve real business problems or real business challenges. I'm using the word business because business means, in a way, money. Organizations are in the business of making money. Okay, so so the impact is always right when we impact the top line or the bottom line of an organization. Otherwise, it just becomes any other goal. Now, let me go back to this problem again, and it is very important for you to understand, right? Now, what happens if the employee engagement is down? How does it impact? So what happens? Somebody is less engaged. What happens? Nothing wrong. Everybody is coming and working. What happens is, if the customers are happy, then suppose the customers is happy, the company is profitable. What is the problem with employee engagement then?
Sir, two things might occur. One is the performance. There can be a hindrance in performance. That is one. Second is when we see in the organizations, team collaborations are very important, and that is what it drives every employee. So if there is no team collaboration, it again will not be of right functionality or in sync with the company or organization goals.
Great thought.
In
I
fact,
want somebody to answer this. Okay, just state the point. What happens if there is no collaboration?
Sure.
So may I?
Sir,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
go
Please
on.
go ahead. Yes.
So basically, the overall environment of the organization would be affected if this happens. And if the overall environment of the organization is affected, then obviously it will, some or more or less, it will affect the productivity of the organization. And efficiency and effectiveness will also decline if this happens, if there is no collaboration among the employees.
Yes, 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 absolutely. Now we are talking. Now you're talking money. Guys, it is very important, right? We have to solve real problems, right? Attrition is a problem, but what happens because of attrition is something we should look at. If attrition is happening, say about 30%, let's give two examples of two companies, okay? 30% attrition and 10% attrition. These numbers mean absolutely nothing, frankly, at least to managers like you guys. You would be amazed to see that somebody with 30% attrition actually have higher productivity than some company with a 10% attrition. Now you must be wondering how that happens. That happens because the 10% attrition probably of the people who are the top performers. Probably the 10% attrition is people who are on the key roles. So really the numbers do not mean anything. How do the numbers impact the top line or the bottom line is something that is important, right? And you rightly said, if I think that was Ayush, that if the productivity goes down, the profitability, the top line of the company goes down, and that is the problem you want to solve, right? What if tomorrow the you did a project and the engagement goes up to 79%, the best ever, and you spend a bunch of money, and the bottom line is impacted, the profitability is impacted. Is that a good project? Just because, and yeah, it is not. And we should think about differently, because you're all techno managers right now, right? Just because we, and there is a tricky part of it, budget is not a constraint, that does not mean that you'll not have an eye on the budget, right? Budget is very important. You have to see the project that I'm doing, does it impact, how does it impact the organization? That is something when you are taking any, and we'll come to the personalization as well, but any business challenge, this is very important. Okay, the real business goal for me sounds like this: not increasing employee engagement. It can be increasing productivity by personalizing employee experience with regards to recruitment or learning or rewards and recognition, so on and so forth. Right? Because engagement is not really a very hard metric. Productivity is, right? For a moment, I can also say, somebody said attrition. Attrition also, by the way, is a metric. Although I kind of tricked you by saying that 30 and 10% does not make a difference, but does it really make a difference in from the cost perspective?
Yes, sir, definitely.
How?
Because company, whatever the company is, when the new employees join, they spend a lot of money on the training purpose, initial training purpose. If that person leaves within a year or two, then that cost which has invested on him will go in a vain.
Absolutely. There is a cost of attrition, right? Which is hiring and training and productivity. You hire, you spend money, you train, you have to spend money. For the last first 6 months, the guys won't be productive, you spend money on him again. There is a McKinsey study which says that the cost of every attrition is about 2.4% of of the person who left the company. Right? So this is a huge, so this is a large thing, but again, you have to really understand, are you personalizing a certain area of your organization? What business goal or objective you're going to achieve? That is the first and the fundamental thing, right? And once you have done that, now let me talk to you about some steps. So you have this problem in front of you, right? So how would you go about it? First of all, I said that the problem, the statement has to be defined really, really well, so that it really talks about the real impact that this project is going to cause, right? So then this is something, that is something, I don't know, you guys want to take a picture of or remember, write it down, but these are the steps, ladies and gentlemen, you will follow while you are personalizing any experience in organizations, because you guys will do it, nobody else will do it for you, by the way, right? So you will have to do it. So having those general knowledge is fine, but this is exactly what you do if you have to solve this problem. I mentioned about understanding the real business challenge. You have to ask Mr. CEO, what happens if the employees are not engaged? Then say, oh, I think they are taking unplanned leaves. What happens if they take unplanned leaves? These are the questions, and because unplanned means not able to plan. What happens if you're not able to plan? Then might be he'll come and say productivity is going down. You can again say, what is the productivity numbers that is going? By how much? Because ultimately you're going to increase the productivity. That is the right business challenge to have. Okay. Again, some of the steps are very known to you. You have to get, once you have the discussion, you have to go back to the CEO and get a buy-in on the project charter. Project charters, I mean, you guys might know, it has the scope of the project, the time of the project, the stakeholders defined. It has got all the costs. It has got the end result. How does the project look like at the end of it? So it goes everything, and you have to get it signed by the CEO. You have to,
Also,
after that. Yeah, sorry, somebody was talking.
sir, it also contains the future benefits also.
Absolutely, future benefits. How does it look like at the end of the day, right? So these are, so scope, timelines, people required, resources required, money, of course, future benefits, of course. So this comprehensive project charter has to be signed off by your CEO, whoever the stakeholder is. Without that, don't even get into solving any problems, AI or any problem for that matter. Then you have to build a team, because it has to be a cross-functional team. You cannot do it yourself. You have to get the right SMEs, technical guys, functional guys, people managers, stakeholders, and build a team around it. The next three steps is something, if you have realized by now, is highlighted in blue, a different color. Blue doesn't mean anything here, but it's a different color. These are specific to personalizing employee experience in AI. If you are doing any project around that, these are very specific to that project. You have to collect and refine data. You have to refine and define ground truths of the process, and I'll come to ground truths in some time. And you have to select the right vendor. Please understand that the work that you'll be doing in AI personalizing, you might not it might not be available in your organization. These are all specific skills that can be bought from somewhere. You can build it if you're an IT organization, but most of the cases you have to buy it from some vendors. So these three steps, 4, 5, and 6, are very specific to implementing AI in organizations or any AI related solutions in organizations. So don't forget this. It's very, very important. Then you design and implement it, measure and sustain, and get the approval. Finally, go back to the CEO, tell the CEO, Mr. CEO, this was the project charter. This is all I have done. Are you happy with it? If you're happy, please sign off. Thank you very much. Right. Point number 7, design and implement. There's got five very nice words: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. Does anyone know how do I ask this question? Um, do you know where this comes? These 5 steps in which process?
So I guess it's AIDA: attract, interact, design, and analyze. I think so.
Mm, there is a yeah,
So
it
is
is.
it
They just like,
so
let
is
me give
it
a hint before somebody. It's a way to problem solve. It is a way to improve a process, like a Six Sigma, for example, like a lean. It is one way of doing that.
so is it design thinking?
Design thinking, absolutely. Who said that?
Sir Karthik here.
Karthik, high five for you. You did it right. So design thinking has got 5 steps: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. I'm not saying that you have to do only design thinking. It is one way of solving a problem, but I think design thinking is absolutely powerful. And if you are thinking about doing a course in design thinking, do not think. Please do it. Okay. So these are the 6. These are 9 steps will be following. But specific to these, collect and data, refine and define ground truths of the process, select the right vendor is important. And I will spend some time on 4 and 5 in the next few slides. But anybody has any question on these other steps? I think it's simple. And see, this is a framework you can use for solving any problem. Just that add the 4, 5, and 6 for solving AI, implement AI solutions in your organizations. Okay. All right. Let's talk about right now data. Data is the most important thing. Okay, I cannot, everything that AI does, everything that you see around us, all the big organizations that do great AI, be it Amazon when you log into their site, be it Netflix when it gives you those recommendations, Facebook who can tell you what I'm looking for before I can even think about it. They can do it only through AI because of data. What really happens is that when we log into different systems, a mobile phone, laptop, Google Maps, different apps, we leave digital footprints, as they say. And these organizations take up all this data from everywhere else, do a run algorithm, and make an intelligent assumption or anticipation about what I am going to do. It is not business analytics. Okay, with data you can do business analytics, which is like looking at the data you can take decisions. AI takes a step further. AI is intelligent. It takes decisions on your behalf. Sometimes you might not know, you might end up buying something from Amazon you actually never thought you will buy, you never
Sure.
decided, but AI forced you to do that. It's a step ahead from business analytics. And if you are given a project by your CEO to improve employee engagement, and if you see that suppose you think about rewards and recognition to improve the employee experience. If you see that the data is not there, please do not do the project. It is not an AI project. You are just wasting your time, company's time, money, and effort. If you do not have good data, you cannot do any project. Okay, so must have, your company must have a system of storing data, of actually, which is clean data, and really how it works, right? uh, and some of the question that you might ask, right, as you are
Sir,
applying. Sorry, yeah, go ahead, somebody was saying something.
so sometimes AI also helps in giving decisions. Means prescriptive analytics do that. That sometimes what will happen if if we are given certain situations, and what will happen if that situation does not occur. These type of decisions are also taken care by AI also.
Totally agree. AI works in predictive area, in not even, I won't say predictive, it works in a cognitive area. It thinks, right? It can predict behavior. It can also do the behavior for you. This is amazing, right? It actually, you might not know that you actually bought something or actually watched a movie which might not have been your decision. Sometimes we don't do that. We don't even realize that. And that's where the AI resides. So let's not get confused between business analytics and their, levels of obviously descriptive, prescriptive, and predictive at the end of the day. When you have a predictive data, what happens is that you can decide not to work on it. It is your decision. So you have the data, it is predicting something, but you choose not to do anything about it. AI actually kind of nudges you, influences you, and takes the decision almost for you. So, and that is why it is very important for us to write data. And these are the questions you must ask as techno managerial guys before you with the CEO or somebody, that do you have the right relevant data? Do you have the data that is clean and that is exactly how the process works? Is the data giving right information at the right time? Because the data is not, again, I'm repeating, guys. For example, let me give an example of my, I go to Google, and before I start typing, they can give you websites I can think about, right? That is me. Think about my mother right now. My mother has got no digital footprint. I think lot of our moms are like that, especially grandmoms. She uses the old Nokia handset, doesn't have any app, okay? Doesn't check internet, no emails, nothing, no digital print. One fine day, if she goes on and checks www.google.co.in, Google will be totally lost. It will have nothing to tell to my mom. Absolutely nothing. Because my mom has got no digital footprint. Okay, it is smart only because of data, by the way. Again, I made that point, but I want to give that example how data is important. So first of all, the CEO has to give you the access to the right data. If the data is not right, please don't do any project as managers, right? The second thing is about ground truths, right? What do I mean by ground truth? But before I answer that, um, has anybody heard about machine learning? And if yes, can anybody tell me what it is?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So the information which is fed to the system, the program algorithm learns it day by day and improvises the algorithm which is being used.
Absolutely right. It is the way we train the machine or teach the machine, isn't it? Anybody has a different definition and add to it?
Sir, I can give out an example. Like we have assistants is just Google Assistant and Alexa. We have certain programs in that, and it tends to learn from us. We interact with it, and it improvises itself. That is what we call machine learning.
Totally correct. So machine learns, right? That's why machine gets better. If you'd have used Google like 1 year back and you use Google right now, Google has become more intelligent through machine learning because it has it has been taught to behave in certain way with more and more data. Okay, but what if? And this is a very important question. What if I'm teaching the machine something wrong? What happens after that? Because of that.
So there are chances that it may end up doing things which it is not meant to do.
It will exactly do that. And thank you for sharing that. Machine by itself, please understand it, right? Machine by itself are not intelligent. They are made intelligent by feeding lots and lots of data information, right? If we teach the wrong information, it will learn the wrong things. Okay. uh, uh, there was a movie that came from Rajnikant, Robo. Have you guys seen it?
Yes, yes, sir,
So it's
exactly.
a very weird example, but this guy Chitti, I think was the Robo's name, right, guys? Chitti.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Chitti, if Chitti is fed wrong things, he will become Chitti. Otherwise, he'll be the trusted friend of this scientist, Vasigra, or whatever the name is. You can make machine anything by feeding information. Therefore, ground truth is this. You have to actually check your processes. If your process is doing right or wrong. Before you fix AI, you have to fix your process. Suppose you're going to personalize rewards and recognition. Okay. Suppose there is fundamentally something wrong with rewards and recognition. For example, it is not being paid, it is not being made transparent. There is a lot of bias in the system itself. Okay. I should have given the award 6 months back. I've been giving now. So if you keep on feeding these wrong things to the machine will learn the wrong things. So first of all, the ground truths of the process that we fixed. In the context of AI, ground truth is really what is right or what is wrong in the process. You have to teach the machine what is the ground truth, which means that you cannot have very vague policies, vague procedures. If you do that the day in and day out, the AI will learn the wrong things. Okay, so these two steps make every as techno managers when you're solving a problem for a CEO, while every other step might remain constant, you must spend in the planning phase about 80% of this time in these two steps, getting your data and getting the ground truths right. If it is not right, you cannot fix it, guys. Don't even do that. Tell your CEO, I'm sorry, we can't do this. Of course, give the reasons, and then tell him that if you do it, what will happen. All right. Any questions? Any clarification needed on this one? But is it clear, guys?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir, it is
Assuming it
clear.
is clear. Okay. All right. So let
Sir,
me now. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
sir, it's clear, but sir, actually, machine learning is an application of AI itself.
Um. Yes, but what comes first?
Just the
AI comes
opposite.
first, or machine learning comes first?
Sir, machine learning comes first.
Yeah.
Without machine learning, how AI will be developed?
Correct. Correct. AI is more like an output, right? AI is like a decision we make, and a lot of things goes into. Suppose as a human being, I take certain decisions. I make a decision of coming to this class and talking to all of you. I also made a decision not to do something at that point. I could have gone out, gone for a walk. I could have watched a movie. It's a decision I make. Some ground truths are being fed to me. That's why I make the right decision. So that's the machine learning, in my own learning in that sense. Yeah. So it is totally linked, right? Interlinked in that way. The quality of machine learning can determine the quality of artificial intelligence. It's the same way. Imagine this way: if I have grown up as a child, having some experiences, some very unpleasant experiences, I might end up doing some things which others might not do. Same way, machine learning and AI also works. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I also promised to you that we will solve a real problem, and problem that I solved. When I say I solved, I would not go and say that I solved because as I said, there are a lot of learning that I have done. So when I say solved, don't think that I went there and everything became like super smooth and it was a great project. Ultimately, it was a great project, but it is not a smooth ride as the two or three slides might come up and say that, right? So it is a lot of learning, but I want to share those learnings with you. And couple of learnings that I put from in point number 4 and 5 are those. I made a lot of mistakes of not getting the right data and not getting the ground truths right in the process, right? And that is what I thought I'll share. That very important. So, what was my project? What was the project that was given to me? And in HR that I worked on, and specific to this particular area as for personalizing an employee experience. So the goal given to me was improving talent retention. Right? There was a one of the businesses I worked with, and what we broadly identified was that when you looked at some of the comments and some of the exit interviews, we are not we had this enormous number of benefits and perks and benefits, right, for employees, but it was not working for us. Somehow it was not reaching people, it was not giving the right experience. And this was one of the reasons which was thought to be the reason for employee attrition. And I was given the task of personalizing employee experience with regards to perks and benefits. Okay. um, First thing that I did obviously is that one of the reasons that I also picked up that, and I made some mistakes in the past development, and the data was very poor quality. Okay, and sometimes it did not have data at all. But then the next big thing was rewards and so perks and benefits. And here, fortunately, I had some data. Of course, I had a lot of challenge collecting data as well, but I had some data because there were, like I said, a host of benefits in the organization, and 80%. It is not the real. I'm sorry, I cannot share the real numbers because there is, I think that can lead to some kind of a breach. But 90% of what you see here was actually the data for that organization. Okay, so we had lots of benefits. But the problem is that, as I mentioned on that bracket, it was generalized, which means that everybody gets everything. Okay, the communication also was generalized. So everybody gets everything, and everybody gets to know also the same way. And everybody gets to know the same way at same time that we want to tell them. So it was a perfect example of very generalized, uh, employee experience, if you will, not personalized at all. Now, the first thing, obviously, as I mentioned, would be now, of course, the business, the so this was set, the business goal was discussed, and then I got a project charter signed by my CEO, and then the question of a data collection came up. Where do I get the data from? Now, I want you guys to think about the different sources of data, internal sources, by the way. Okay, not external sources. I'm not talking about whether person goes out and eats in what restaurant, or what is this, or watch movies. The person comes to office. What are the different internal sources of data that he can get? Guys can start speaking now. Time to unmute.
So how much time he or she takes a break off, like after how much time he she goes on a break, and like these kind of internal things, and how much, or how compared to his colleagues, how much a person is taking to complete the same task which is given to everyone, that time can be recorded. These are two examples which I wanted to tell.
Yeah. So
So
so Time data, time spent on the system, login, log out, productivity. Great. So these are all data points. But where do we get the data from?
Okay.
So, for
So,
example,
so
yeah. So you can go ahead. Yeah.
no, sir, I was telling the examples like basically from questionnaires and the webcams which is installed in the offices. From there, we can collect these kind of data.
Absolutely. Yes.
So can I?
Yeah. Yeah. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, so like Ayush said, the in time and the out time, like the system itself will be having an inbuilt tracker that actually tracks the, like for example, when we fill the timesheet in any organization when we working, so the timesheet of logging and log out, also the pass that we get for the organization to swap the passes, that also
Yeah.
actually records the logging time. And secondly, there's another report called compliance report also, which actually shows shows the data of any employee if he or she is not following the rules and regulations that was supposed to be followed in the organization. So with that also we can find the employ data of an employee also.
Absolutely. I think that's Aishwarya. So timesheet is a great source of data. Webcam is a source of data, right? And in fact, all the HR systems, for example, like a recruitment system is a great source of data. Payroll system is a great source of data, right? HR systems, so is to say, and what else are could be sources of data? Think about how, and this is very important question, guys, because data collection as techno managers when you're doing a project will be so important.
So, so
Yeah.
can research from the subordinates or peers be the source as well?
Yeah, why not? It can
Yeah.
be. Why not?
Survey.
Sir,
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Right.
sir,
Sorry, just one point. So, Amazon does a great job of influencing us by that. No, uh, uh, people, people who viewed this also viewed that,
Yeah.
or
Right.
people like you have bought this thing, right? So they actually collect data from all of our internal sources, and then, but of course, we're not talking about Amazon right now. But yes, to your point, it's a great example of collecting source of data. Yeah. What else?
sometimes company website also provides much more data.
Um, can you give an example of that?
Sir, TCS,
No, no, no.
Cognizant.
So what data? So I log into the website.
Yeah.
Debashish is logging into the website of Berkadia, and you are doing the project. What data will you get from it?
They do not reveal any. But regarding the employees, sometimes they give.
No, no, true, true.
So may I?
I think you are actually absolutely right. Website is a great source of information. But my question is this: that I want to be more specific. Debashish logs in, say 5 times last month in website. What data will it give it to you? Any example?
How
Can I?
many times you open certain number of websites? How much time did you actually spend on the project? How much time you spend on surfing or internet? This kind of data you will be getting from there, sir.
Yeah. And even if I
So
don't look
I
at,
think
sorry, even if I don't look at other websites also, like if I'm opening up NDTV or Click Info, my website can tell me if I'm opening Berkadia.net, my internal website, where exactly I'm going to. Am I going to the policies page or the learning and development page? Am I going to the internal job postings page, or am I going to the recruitment page, for example? Right. So these are great ways of
Search engine
yeah,
optimization.
yeah, of course. But it's a source of. Now, my idea is not here to really make the website user friendly. That is another personalization you can always do. It's a great project. So that website as a source of data for you. Now you are doing a project on. This is your project, right? You have to personalize employee experience with regards to perks and benefits. I'm The question right now is that now data is required. आपको कहाँ से data मिलेगा?
So
Internal sources.
may I?
Yes, yes.
So yeah, Sangarsh here. Even Aishwarya has said the same in the chat box as well. Getting into intranet of the organization and check the communication done by that particular employee, his interaction and his retention span within the intranet. So that will be a source, I suppose.
Totally, totally. All of these are great
So I
sources. One last one before I share some of the things I used, of course. But yeah,
Sir, MIS, Management Information System.
yeah, absolutely. MIS is a, I think, the basic source of data. You must go and get it. I mean, so this is, you have a lot of data out there, and the entire employee demographics, right? Even before the person joins, we can get data from the CV the person submitted while joining, and everything, his education, his address, his date of birth, gender, locality. So it has got many information that is there. So MIS and HRIS, HRMS, whatever you might call it, it has got loads and loads of data. Yeah, somebody else was making a point.
yes, sir. So that when I was working in the previous organization,
Hmm.
so what the basic information that you get from an employee is the employee ID, the date of joining, like any date he or she has joined, then the current project he or she is working, and the total working hours in average on a month, and for the past 3 or 6 months. And there are other like extra information like curricular activities, and if you have a vehicle, DL, PAN, any identity. So from this, and yes, the extension number that's been allocated to each and every employee. So when you type any extension number, we used to have 4-digit numbers. So if we just hit it on the search button, so we get the following information of an employer. So I guess that's also can be an internal source of information about an employee.
Yeah, it to all be. And see, all the things, the initial first or 1 or 2 pages I shared about the various employee contacts that we have, right? From recruitment to, separation. And all the 10, 15, 20 things. And all of these can have actually platforms, the way we pay money, salaries, the way we reward and recognize people, the way we do performance management, right? So all of these have got their own platforms. You can get data around performance management, who is being rated when, okay, and what, who was awarded for what, and how long back. So everything is there. So HR, all the HR systems are a great source of looking at information. It gives you some solid information. Apart from that, the sources that I use for my project is data from my service partners or vendors, employee pulse forums, like somebody had asked that we do a lot of, everybody across the company does a lot of these employee touch points. They have one-on-one meetings, they have employee pulse meetings, group meetings. There is a great form of getting data. Employee surveys data, fortunately I had, because it was done about 3 months back. But you can also do it for a specific reason. Suppose you want to know about the employee pulse for perks and benefits, you can do that as well. All the employee queries that you get, very interesting data you'll get from there. And the queries can come, really, sometimes they must send an email, or sometimes they can just raise a ticket as you usually do, or sometimes they can walk up to somebody and ask somebody that, what, I have this question. An amazing way of looking at data. Emails emails is such a rich place of looking at data, right? And you can look at some of the core words, and there are different AI things that you can do with that. Look at some of the, you can understand the feelings and the emotions of people looking at some of the emails, some words that you can pick up, and you can look at these and also see what is are there. Participation in events, which are the events that they are participating and not participating. See, understand this, we are talking about personalization here, specific to this one, okay? We are talking about AI, of course, but using AI to personalize somebody. So the more personal data you get, it's the better it is. So what kind of events? So as an organization, you can do 1,000 things in a year. What kind of events is that person actually participating? That tells me about his hobbies and interests and habits. RNR usage data, amazing data. Okay, now we have, I pay Ashwarya as an award 5,000 rupees to go and shop from the website company, right? What does she shop, or does she shop at all? Is she saving it to buy something bigger 2 years down the line? If she's not shopping, does it mean that she doesn't like our website at all? All the products suck? Might be. Amazing data we can get. Uh, Data from service partners and vendors, guys, don't miss that when you're doing any project. What I mean by this is that a lot of our systems, we work with outside vendors. For example, um, Berkadia gives meal vouchers. So you have the Sodexo cards. So, so all of you join Berkadia, say 100 of you, and we'll give you a Sodexo card, a meal voucher for 1,800 rupees. Now, all of you can use that meal voucher by doing different things. You might go and buy a pizza. You might go and shop in Ratnadeep. You might just not do anything. To know your preferences, and especially in the context of personalization, especially in the context of rewards and benefits, or perks and benefits. Medical insurance. How much are you using and who are you using it for? I know everybody gets the same thing, but if you're 20 and 21-year old, 22-year old, would you need would you need insurance for your kids and your spouse? You might not. So how are you using it or not using it? So these are some of the examples, some of the sources that I used for doing the personalization of benefits and perks for my project, right? If you can get creative, and the more the company is savvy in creating data, you'll get more and more better about it. Okay, but any questions on this, guys? Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
When you spoke about these sources, one more thing in today's organizational world, remote working. We have seen remote workspaces which have started, Citrix, be it Bittrex, or many others. So, can this platform be a source as well? I'm curious about it. So,
Um, you to give an example, because the workplace has changed.
yeah.
I use the same things. I mean, I don't use the cafeteria, for example,
Okay.
but I use the same systems.
Yeah. So,
So
like, what I was trying to ask is, we would get a clear capture of the activities and their retention, their span of being logged in or being unavailable, everything, all these activities or the routine will be known from it. So, could this be a source for this analysis as well?
yeah, there could be many. In fact, right? If you want to get creative, we can really get creative. This was, if I think about it, might be I could have added some more. This is something that I used, but again, I don't want to divert from the topic, but and it's really requires a large discussion around the ethics, right? Everybody's talking about it, so you will be very, very careful about what we want to do with the data, right?
Exactly.
If your company has a culture of only measuring people productivity and not by how much time they spent in the systems, you don't want to just do a project and disturb that culture, right? So again, I think ethical use of AI is something that we can talk about for hours together, but we'll not get there. But yeah, but this for the context of the project, this is the data that I used, and that is how I
Yes.
also did not use which website they visited in office.
Mhm.
Okay, it didn't mean anything to me, frankly. I mean, why should I care about knowing his interest in I don't know, crick bars while watching IPL or shopping during thing, because we have a culture of I don't care. If I give in access to yours, you can use Amazon.in, you can use Amazon.in. End of the day, आपको productivity देना चाहिए.
Yeah,
All
right.
right. So again, I think keeping everything in mind, ethical use of mind, and you data, and then finally, I have just two more slides to see finally what has happened, right, with the project. How we turned out, it turned out to be, you know, personalized benefits and to that with the use of AI and data that he had. So this is how the final outcome looked like. So what we really did was this: of all the analysis that we did, right? We had segregated the benefits uh, into the through the aspirations, through the likes and dislikes, and the usage of these employees. And these are uh, don't purely go by these. The format is exactly what it happened, but but some of these benefits can be on the left, on the right, right. I deliberately changed it because I can't share certain information. So, of all the benefits, some of those were like we said, go for all. So, everybody in the company goes for all of these benefits. Now, why not everything personalized? For two reasons. Why, you might be asking me, sir, why even go for all? You make everything personalized. But see, there are some benefits that we want to drive as an organization. We want to give life insurance, right? And number two, there could be some regulatory or compliance requirement also. You cannot decide that I won't give maternity leave to employees. So there has to be a set of benefits which is common for everybody. Then we give the employees that basis the data, okay, that you can, there is another set of 10 benefits. You can go for any five of this, and there is another set of eight benefits. You can go for any four of these. Now, this group that you see, the groups that you see in yellow and in green typically, these groups are not made randomly. These groups were made with a choice through the data that we have. For example, we saw that people either prefer a dental check or an eye screening. So therefore, we put in different groups, right? So ultimately, of course, it took a longer time than 6 months because it's a very complex project. I think it took about a year for us to do that. Data collection was a huge issue. It took about 5 months for us to do that as well, to look at data, because we didn't have some data. We started collecting data and then did the project. But this was really how it was personalized, right? Employee had a choice. It is not like eating from a buffet. It is eating from an a la carte, right? If you go to a restaurant, you don't eat what the waiter serves. You eat what you want to eat. And if you're four of you are going as friends, all of you did not eat the same thing. Doesn't mean you have bad friendship. Somebody can like biryani, somebody can like Chinese. You can free to choose whatever you like. Of course, you cannot have like, for if you have an employee base of like 1 lakh people, you cannot have 1 lakh different programs. But at least to an extent, it becomes a lot personalized. At least the employee has a choice of saying yes or no to something. So this is what has happened. One more thing that we find out, which was initially not a problem, but it was a beautiful problem to have, was that um, even though we had the best of benefits, we have seen that the people are not using it. So they choose it, okay? They choose, for example, annual health. I'm just giving an example. But we saw that every year we give a free annual health checkup, but people who have opted for it is not even doing it. Now, we didn't want to, how do I use AI? How do I use AI to influence and nudge people to have that behavior? And as I said, not doing it, but making the AI take that decision. So we came up with some beautiful communication campaigns. And I give you one example of a guy named Rakesh, who was who for 2 years did not use the annual health checkup policy. I think 2 to 3 years. And he was like a case study for us. यार इसको कैसे करेंगे? How do we don't want to force him. How do we nudge him? How do we really someone like Amazon forced the kind of influence to take him animal health to use it, right? So our data told us that he is an active participant in the he's a key player in the cricket team of that company, and his friends told me he idolizes Virat Kohli, and Virat Kohli is a fitness freak, all of you know. So that gave us an idea of influencers that I think Instagram really does very well. For that matter, everybody does this time. We started influencers for each of these categories, for example, right? We again not the same influencer, okay? Different influencers, and we started saying customized emails. A customized email, not somebody wrote and send it, because that becomes very manual again. So we, the day after he became eligible, we send a email went out to him, to Rakesh specifically, saying that Virat Kohli and how he's crazy about fitness. And immediately after that, we send a coupon to him. Hey, you are eligible now for your annual health checkup, and you can get these benefits. You want to go for it? And guess what? He went for it. And the same thing happened for tuition reimbursement, for example. People opted for that, but not getting the courses. So we get a lot of data from L&D and whichever internal websites he was visiting, in LinkedIn Learning, which courses he or she was checking. And we actually then started sending a catalog of courses which is specific to that particular employee, and kind of nudged him to take up that course. All right, so that way, I think this is the way I have tried using. It was not as smooth as it sounds to be. It was a lot of learning for me. I think we'll learn a lot as we go along. We're just still scratching the surface of AI. But I want to share some of the success story plus failures and mistakes with you also. But any question on this before I move to my last slide? I've already taken a lot of time, guys. But any question on the project or how we went about it? Do you find it useful? By the way, it's a great project to replicate, and you can just substitute perks and benefits with anything for that matter. How can you personalize L&D? How can you personalize policies, for example? How can you personal learning and development, onboarding, recruitment? All these things are very generic.
So, is neuro leadership is associated with the implementation of AI? Uh,
Um, my understanding of neural leadership is not so much about not so much about AI. Of course, AI has a neural network for sure, and everything. It's a connected world, right? The more connected it is, the more data or systems get data from, then AI becomes enhanced because of that. It works like the brain, and that's why brain also has a lot of experiences that we go through. It sees things, it feels things, and therefore takes some decisions, right? That's why it is sometimes related to a neural leadership. I don't think that um, you know I don't know what time AI can be as strong as EI, if you will, or the brain. Might be at some days, but that day is very far away, because data is more important. The more data we have, the more easy it gets, or more enhanced an AI would get.
Sir, and
okay, sir.
again,
Thank you.
is this level of personalization really possible with AI? Because employee this gathering this whole data requires very precise personalization. Is it really possible with AI and machine learning algorithms we already have?
So this is very basic. This is a project I have done, so it is possible. In fact, this
Yes.
is just you're scratching the surface, right? There'll be a day, and here actually I have made two groups, to be honest. There'll be a day then even if TCS has 4 lakh employees, for each of the 4 lakh will be personalized, not even groups.
Okay. Yeah.
It is absolutely possible. There's no question about it.
Right. Got it.
All right. The last thing that I want to leave you with is for you to become good leaders. Obviously, we know now that AI is a very important part. We cannot separate technology from other things. AI becomes very, very important, right? So I leave you with five things, five meta skills that all of you have of AI to be successful. Anybody knows what a meta skill is? Difference between a meta skill and a skill? Okay, homework for you guys. See that. So go and Google today. What is the meaning of meta skills? So five meta skills, right? If you want to be solving problems in the modern world using AI, you need to learn these five things. There is no fourth thing. There is no three. There is no one. There is no two, right? And these five things are as follows. I will not be going in details about all of these, but I'll be happy to share the slides if you guys find it useful. I can share with the DOT and then they can share with all of you guys. But agility, pattern recognition, design thinking, storytelling, and continuous learning. If you guys think that these are optional और बाद में करेंगे या पहले कुछ और करते हैं, this is the time. Because a lot of our problems, if not all of our problems, will be solved through AI in the future. And that is a good thing that will happen because, as I think Ayush said in the beginning, it is going to augment what we do, right? And therefore, these five skills are very, very important. And all of you, some of you know about all of this, so don't repeat. But thank you very much. I can take some questions, but these are the way anybody wants to be in touch with me can be in touch with me. I'm sharing my WhatsApp number as well. Feel free to call me. Weekdays are very difficult. Weekends as well, but I can surely call you back. I can commit on that. Otherwise, please feel follow me on LinkedIn. I'm very active there. Happy to have you on my network. I have already taken 1.5 hours. Sorry about that, guys, but I thought it'll be lesser than that. But there are some fantastic questions, and thank you all of you for asking those questions. I actually learned a lot from the questions as well. But any questions? I don't want to leave you kind of delay your Saturday evening. So we can end here. But if you're okay to ask two questions, I can take a couple of questions.
Hello, sir.
Yep.
Sir, as AI is implemented in all the fields, today it is being implemented in all the fields, and in the future also it will be implement. Mostly, it will be there in all the fields. So, sir, is there a chance of unemployment comes?
No, not at all, not at all. I mean, not everywhere any good data research that you see. There could be some people who are obviously uh, you know looking at the other side of life. But if you look at good data in the history in the past as well, any technology, including AI, has always created jobs. Forget about losing jobs. When I was very, very young, my parents used to be worried about, what will happen to typewriters. Computer is coming, so typewriting ka kya hoga, right? I still remember that, I have stood in line to get cinema tickets. See if you can do online booking through to book my show. What will happen to the ticket collector and those people who sell tickets? But make my show or book my show has created more jobs than all the cinema halls taken together in the world, right? Just one app. So technology on the other hand actually creates a lot of jobs. It is all about how ready we are. Do we have the right skill? Do we have the right meta skills to be successful in this world? That's the only thing. You don't have to worry about your jobs at all. I'm not. I mean, you guys are more tech savvy than I am. Look at me. I mean, I have never used AI, and today I'm talking about AI only because I know it is important. Yeah.
Sir, Meanwhile, you actually during the session you gave a reference of for Six Sigma, if I'm not wrong. Like
Yes.
when we look into it, the whole process which you said has been embedded in the whole Lean Six Sigma program or the process. So, how essential is it to learn for us as managers, be it in any sector? How essential is it for us to learn Lean Six Sigma and its importance? I just wanted to know that.
Six Sigma, no. Again, it's my personal thing. Okay, Six Sigma works a lot in manufacturing context. It's
Okay.
a brilliant tool. You just cannot say that I'm in manufacturing, I cannot do Six Sigma, because it measures defects to the T. Right, Six Sigma is very difficult to achieve as a number. Right, but in services context, like I don't think it is very useful. That's my personal view. So if you ask me that, do I really have to do it? I don't think you have to do it. But lean, I actually, people use lean Six Sigma in one breath. I was in two different breaths.
Okay.
Lean is extremely useful, by the way. Lean is an amazing tool.
Okay.
Don't worry about Six Sigma. Learn lean. Lean could be in some context even better than design thinking, right? You can go for that. Is my recommendation would be, please,
Sir,
check about lean. Yeah.
yeah, one thing, any such recommendations to learn tools for effective management? Just wanted to make a note of it.
Effective management as in leadership and management
Yeah.
tools.
Yes,
No, no, no,
yes.
no. There are
Tools.
no tools. Don't worry about those tools. You will. Nobody as a leader has a particular style.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every leader that you see, every leaders are successful because of who they are,
Hmm.
right? They don't want to be. They don't need to be like somebody else. There are always, see, there are always frameworks to have as starting your career as a young professional. Okay, it is always good to have some frameworks so that you know that, okay, I can relate to it or I can't relate to it. There's some common leadership frameworks, like I can tell you, situational leadership framework is amazing. Okay, there is another framework called servant leadership. Okay, so there are certain leadership frameworks like that you can study, right? But make it your own. You don't have to really copy that. Understand what works for you, understand what doesn't work for you, and then go with it. I don't
Yeah.
recommend any one, because I have not seen any leader following just one style.
Right. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Hey guys, I think we should close for the day. We're already like 40
Hello.
minutes plus. Oh, I have more, do I have more questions? Okay, all right. Last one. Yeah, somebody was asking a question, I think. Oh, probably not. All right, so shall we call it a day? I think Ayush started, and so thank you very much,
Yes.
guys, for having me again, especially DOT Club. I hope this Saturday evening was slightly well spent. It was very well spent for me. Some fantastic questions, especially on the sources of data. I loved it. And next time when I think Sandesh, you said webcam. It never occurred to me, or somebody said, I'm sorry, I think it might be Ayush. It is an amazing source of data. It never occurred to me when I was doing that project. But thank you for that suggestion.
But
Welcome, sir.
really,
Sir,
we really, yeah, yeah, you should go on.
sir, it's a privilege that you were here with us. I used
Privilege?
to be on
No,
yeah.
no privilege. I'm not a big guy. I'm not Ratan Tata or something. You pick up the phone, I'll talk to you. Don't worry about that. Okay.
So much,
So no
sir, for
privilege.
sharing such much wonderful insights.
I have, I do three things, guys. Okay, in life. Of course, I have a first thing is I have a job. वो तनख्वाह नहीं आएगा तो मुश्किल हो जाएगा. I have a role. I have a job to do. I do it 9 to 5 in a weekday. That's the first thing I do. Second thing is that I read and I share. That is my second object in life. When I read a lot, and I am always dying to share the knowledge with people. Okay, that's why you always find me accepting, even though Aishwarya has been chasing me for many months now. But I know I would come here someday and share whatever I know. I'm not saying I know everything, but whatever I know, you will know. That is guaranteed. There is nothing that I have not shared today that I know. There's second thing. Third thing is that I have a passion for fitness. I like to keep fit. I like running, specifically long distance running. So three things keep me kind of happy, busy, engaged, whatever. So no privilege, हाँ? I mean एकदम
Mhm.
phone करो तो मैं बात करूँगा. Anybody.
No,
That's why I
sir.
share my number.
We are really happy to have you here, sir. So as you said, like we've been constantly chasing you, but yes, the most interesting fact about sir is that he is very active in LinkedIn. I mean, he's one of those persons. Even I can also like we people can relate. Like he's open to every kind of knowledge, not only specific to human resource or anything. If participants who are watching this, please do share sir's LinkedIn profile. It's very motivating and inspiring to know the latest technological trend that's been going on, like be it in any field. And so, lastly, we really owe you for this, for coming here and sharing a very insightful session. And yeah, looking forward for further future associations also. And IBS Hyderabad will be grateful for you. And especially Dot Club is very much highly honored to have you here, sir.
That's my pleasure as well, guys. Thanks for having me. It was wonderful interacting with all of you guys. Really enjoyed this 1.5 hours with you all. Thank you very much. Stay safe, all of you. Stay indoors. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank you
Bye.
much.
so much, sir. It was
Bye
so
bye.
great.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
same here.
Have a lovely weekend, sir. Thank you, sir. Bye,
You
sir.
guys do the same. Bye. Bye. Bye bye.
We would also like to thank our official coverage partner, Newswire, and official promotion partner, IBS Messenger. Thank you so much, everyone, for making this event a great one.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Bye.
Bye,
Good day, sir.
sir.
Guys, officially the session is over. Now you can leave.
We ask the DOT members to stay and the others